Okay, so we want to analyze our high-speed video once we've actually recorded it. So we're going to open up Logger Pro, and it should look like this. We're going to insert our movie, so you have some saved movie somewhere. Mine is on the desktop, Baseball Hit in my case. And you can play the video. Ideally you want to get it to right at about where the important part is. So in this case, I'm looking at the impact. So that's where impact starts, right there. I'm going to back up, get it right before impact. That's right there. Yep. Okay. Then we want to go to options, movie options. We need to say what our frame rate was. This is really the only thing you need to change on this screen probably is this. And we filmed it at 4,000 frames per second. This down here, if you find that when you're advancing, when you're placing little markers on the ball or object, if it's not advancing far enough for you, you can change this from 1 to like 5 or 10, whatever. But usually 1 is fine. So click OK. Come down here, we're going to click on these 3 red dots, and that'll bring up some stuff over here. So we basically set our time scale, telling it is 4,000 frames per second. Now we need to set a distance scale. So I'm going to click on that. And ideally, in the plane of motion here, in the plane of the baseball's motion, you would have had set up some sort of like a ruler or scale. Usually you can ad lib. In this case, I don't have a scale other than the baseball itself. So I'm going to click and drag, being as precise as possible. And I can tell it that the diameter of a baseball, I happen to know is, well, I think it's 2.86. Diameter of baseball, 2.86 inches. Okay, 2.86 inches to meters. 0.0726. 0.0726. 0.0726. So I'm telling it that distance that I spec'd out is 0.0726 meters. And now I've got enough to go off of, so I can start placing markers. So each time I add a point, and I'm going to add a point to the front of the ball each time. Front center of the ball. Each time I add a point, it's going to advance 1 more frame forward. Okay, so now our ball is actually starting to move, you can see, right? Being as precise as possible here. Okay, again, you've got to be super precise. So each time I drop a marker, it just automatically progresses to the next frame. And I'm doing an okay job. I could probably be trying a little bit harder, but you can see in general we're following more or less a good path. Okay, so now it's automatically doing this calculation over here on the left of velocity, and it's doing my x and y coordinates, and then giving me the x and y velocity as well. If I want to turn that into like a true velocity, hopefully you realize that we've got to use some Pythagorean theorem to do that. And depending on what you're trying to measure, ultimately this may be good enough, just knowing the velocity. Again, the total velocity, not just the x or y separately. Maybe you need acceleration. Maybe, you know, I'm not sure exactly, but you can hopefully figure it out from here. All right. So good luck.